Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Kevin Sullivan channel. I'm Kevin Sullivan. For those who have video requests, make a video request. I will do the video. It might take me a minute. I got a lot of video requests, but I will do the video. For those who would like to email me, the email is kevinsullivan.youtube@yahoo.com. Again, to email me, my email was kevinsullivan.youtube@yahoo.com. For those who would like to donate, there's a donate button on the page. There's also a donation link you can click in every description box of every video. So, hello ladies and gentlemen. The topic of this video is going to be called Why Narcissists Like to Have Kids. See, ladies and gentlemen, mostly all narcissists want everything else that everybody else has in this world. You know, the relationships, the friendships, and with every type of relationship, but it has to be on the narcissist's terms of how the narcissists think and see things their way. Because narcissists don't think and see and feel the way normal people think and feel and operate, how we function as normal, human, healthy beings. They think and see everything different, which is not normal. So, this is why narcissists want, but they still want to have everything that regular, normal people have. You know, like getting married, you know, friendships, relationships, but it's on their terms and how they want it. It's not normal relationships. It's always going to be a dysfunctional relationship. So, and they believe they deserve to have what everybody else have, but they've been, from the beginning, narcissists wear this image to get into normal relationships of any kind, in any category, and they get into it by making normal people believe that they're normal like them, because they know how to fake normalcy. They are very good actors. They should win the Golden Globe for acting, you know, because they're very good actors, so they know how to act it. So they act so well and good, and they put on this image that seems safe and healthy and wonderful, you know. So we believe it, you know, because we kind of take what they say at face value, and they act good and put on the gut of acting. So that's how that goes. So, and with that being said, is we end up falling for it, you know. So why they want to have kids, they want to have what other normal people have, but they don't see it as how other normal people see it, and don't handle it the same way that other people handle it. Like normal healthy people want kids because, well, one of the things we was put on here to reproduce, and everybody wants a family. Most normal Americans, or people around the world in general of the world, want kids, create a family, have a family. You know, that's a wonderful thing. To have kids, your offspring, raise them up, give them a good life. But see, narcissists don't have kids for that. Narcissists have kids just to have kids because, well, everybody else have kids, so I just want to have kids. It's almost just a trophy to say, well, I'm normal, or I have what everybody else have, you know. So, and why you end up having kids with them, or thinking it's safe to have kids with them, because they gave you that image that, you know, and they created that it was safe to have kids with them, and everything is okay. They safe people, which they're not. So then you end up having the kids with them. And then when you have kids with them, then, you know, this is when they masks start slipping fully, you know, and they start acting crazy, and you really get to see the true person that the narcissist really is. But the narcissists have kids for one main reason, that everybody else have kids, so it's just to them like everybody else do. Same reason why narcissists say they love you, because they don't mean it. It's just what everybody else says, so they just say it because they in a relationship with you, because, well, that's what everybody else has, but they want to have what everybody else has, but it got to be on their own way of this fantasy of how they live in and how they see it. So narcissists have kids. They don't want to. So a narcissist have kids is to have what everybody else have, and it's for them. And kids is more a form of supply. Like narcissistic parents and grandparents use their grandkids and their kids as for supply. That's it. It's supply. That's one of the main reasons also of narcissists having kids, is for supply, and they get a lot of supply out of having kids. So this is why a narcissistic mother probably would have a lot of kids, even though it's women and men who have a lot of kids who are not narcissistic. So let's not get that confused. But most narcissists, some narcissists, yeah, they do have a lot of kids. Some have one, some have two, but some like to have a lot of kids. The more the kids, the more the merrier, the more supply they have. And what they do is create a dysfunctional family. And so, and it's a safety net for them. So they could be, and you end up really, the kids end up really being a parent for the kids end up really being a parent for and the caregivers to the parents from day one, you know? And so it's like a safety net. So if they get sick, okay, I got somebody who's locked in, the scapegoat, or whoever else of all these kids who's going to take care of me. And when I'm sick, I could just get treated extra special. You know, I got all the supply. And narcissists will have kids, like men narcissists will have kids with women, and they will leave the women with the kids. Why? Because the narcissistic men and women, narcissistic women do this too. They have kids with men, and then a narcissistic woman will leave the man with the kids and go on about living a life. Like these narcissistic men and women, they had no intentions from day one to even take care of the kids. You know, they had it for supply and just to say, well, you know, hey, I got kids like everybody else. You know, hey, I can have a kid. Or I end up getting somebody pregnant, just like, oh, I can do that too. That's all it is for the narcissist. Oh, I get to do that too, because they see everybody else do it. So they want, narcissists want what everybody else have, so they just has to have it. Even though they don't have the means, they don't have the right meanings and the right attentions behind having what everybody else have and what everybody else wants. They still want it and still got to have it, so they're going to proceed with it and make sure that they have it. Even if it's wrong, toxic, and dysfunctional, it doesn't matter. They just have to have it. So that's why you have these kids by the narcissistic man, or had these kids or kid with this narcissistic woman or narcissistic man, and then they just left you in the wind. Whether it's 1 kid, 2 kids, or 3 kids, or 10, narcissists like to have kids and then move on to the next relationship and have more kids. It's more supply to them. And they get to say, and narcissists like to leave a trail. Narcissists like to leave a trail of basically, you know how dogs like to mark their territory? That's another thing why narcissists like to have kids. It's basically a mark of territory. Like I had kids with her, you know, and it's not really like, okay, this is a legacy. It's more like, okay, this is my mark of what I did. Like, look, I made kids, I have kids. Then they come up in the social, they get to show people, look, I have kids, people could think they're awesome. Then, you know, they're going to portray the image like they are good parents. Then they're going to start making up lies to people, pity parties so people could feel sad for them. Like, oh, I got these beautiful kids. My ex-wife or my ex-girlfriend won't let me see them. Or my ex-husband or my ex-boyfriend won't let me see my kid or kids. So now they're using it for supply for a pity party, and then like, oh, you know, people can feel sorry for them, and they get to tell lies and say, you know, these are my kids. Then they get to be in the social group with people that have kids. Then they get to wear that badge of honor of I have kids and I'm a good parent, blase, blase, what have you. This is what they do, and this is how that they act, and this is how they see things. You know, kids are supplied to them. It's a trophy for them. It's like a dog pissing on a tree or on a spot on the grass. They're marking a territory. That's basically what that is. They don't care about the kids. They not, for the ones who leave, for the father or mother, narcissistic mother or father who leave the spouse with the kids, they left because they have no intentions of taking care of them. They have no intentions of raising them, teaching them things, or anything of that nature. That's why they left. Now they on to their new supply, and that's what they're gonna do to that new supply. Whether their pattern is just to be single and just have kids and go to the next supply, be single, be in relationship and have kids, or whether it's a narcissist who gets married, have kids, then gets a divorce and go to someone else and have kids. It's a pattern. I got a video called a narcissistic pattern, part 1, I think it is, or maybe I just put narcissistic pattern. Check that out. I gotta do another video on that as well, at least 2 more on that, because that's very important. So always watch the narcissistic pattern. But this is why narcissists have kids, and for the ones who stay with the kids they have narcissistic kids as supply for them being there and around. Like narcissistic parents who stay with their kids and keep their kids, they keep their kids because their kids is supply. They need supply around them 24/7. So this is why they have a kid or two, or maybe a whole bunch of kids, and you know, they stay with them and keep them because they the ones who have to have supply around them 24/7. They basically want the kids to take care of them, and when they get sick, it's worse because they want all the attention from the kid or 2 kids or the 10 kids or the 7. You know, they got all the supply around them, you know, so they could call on them, and when they sick, oh, do this for me, they play the pity party. And narcissists get a supply out of attention, admiration, and pity and sorrow, and out of people helping them. This, and people feeling sorry for them and coming to the aid and they need. This is all types of form of supply for narcissists. Everything is supply for the narcissist. So this is why narcissists have kids. And this is why if you were a narcissist, please don't have kids with a narcissist, because there's nothing going to be drama and chaos, and they just going to leave you, or you're going to end up having to leave them because they no good for the kids or you, and they just going to create a dangerous, dysfunctional, abusive atmosphere and relationship. And they're going to confuse the kids, and they're also going to put the kids against you and put the kids against one another. The scapegoat against the golden child and the lost child, the joker child. It's all types of positions in a narcissistic dysfunctional family with kids. So watch out for that. This is why narcissists have kids. This is why when I was been supposed to do this video for somebody, I apologize for taking so long, but you know, I just be busy a lot, but I'm doing it now, and I'm getting to all the videos. So with this happening, the narcissist messes up the kids. You know, they messing up the kids because the kids become dysfunctional, living in a household with a narcissist. And for the ones that leave, they still end up being, and for the narcissistic woman or man who leaves their spouse with their kids because they're narcissists and they don't have, because narcissists and the ones that leave, because narcissists don't have no energy to give. They like to take. They need all your energy. They need all supply from you. They don't like to give anything. So this is why they left too, because the ones who leave, the narcissistic parents who leave the kids and go on and make with a new supply and make other kids, like they don't have nothing to give, so they don't want to give. They don't want to take care. They eventually gonna use them kids for supply for them to give them and take care of them and have pity and sorrow for them, you know, and act like they the victims and they didn't do nothing wrong, and then make it seem like the narcissist gonna make it seem like the good parent was the bad person, and that the narcissist, they wasn't the bad person. That maybe your mother or your father, they cheated on me, or they left me, or they want to let me see you or you guys. This is what they'll tell the kids and lie, because the narcissist, of course, is never wrong. They don't do nothing wrong, and they are liars, and they like to put on a persona like they just awesome, stand-up, honorable people with morals, values, and principles, which is completely false. But they have to make people believe that and keep up that image, because the image is everything. So ladies and gentlemen, this is part 1. I will do part 2. So thank you for watching my channel. Hope you liked the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Everybody have a great day and stay narcissistic free.